This is the Chain of Trust prototype, a simulated, self-service traveler experience designed to speed up air traveler border clearance while maintaining compliance and security. This was a joint project between the Canada Border Services Agency and Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada, along with industry and academic partners.
The CBSA is currently going through a major business transformation where we're really starting to look at changing the model of how we process our travelers. We really need to look at our resources and figure out how to best apply them in order to deal with this increased volume of travelers that are going through our airports. We really looked at fundamentally, what do we do and why do we do it? And ultimately, the crux of what we need to do to process people faster as well as more securely is to have better information management.
From a technical perspective, Chain of Trust is a risk assessment system. It starts with the ability to collect information, then the ability to assess that information and provide an appropriate response.
Let's take a look at how the Chain of Trust system will help facilitate low-risk travelers while ensuring security by viewing the prototype in context and providing an overview of the process. As the first step, this Canadian downloads the app and creates a Chain of Trust profile. When the traveler is ready to fly back to Canada, he checks in with his airline to begin his trip. The travel information is shared with the Chain of Trust system for risk assessment. Prior to arriving in Canada, the traveler is prompted to fill out his declaration on the mobile app. Once he has arrived, he submits his declaration and is then guided through the airport zones with the help of facial recognition technology and personalized notifications sent to his smartphone. The Chain of Trust system is able to facilitate this low-risk traveler while maintaining the highest level of security, resulting in a seamless flow throughout the border clearance process. But this isn't always the case. Let's take a look at a different scenario and dive into the specific technologies that comprise the Chain of Trust prototype.
At the front end of the travel continuum, we engage the traveler early and they share information about their intent, about their person.
As part of her profile creation, the traveler must verify that this passport belongs to her and is authentic.
So as part of Chain of Trust project, we want to make sure the traveler is who they claim to be. So once we've read the data from the chip and validated it, that allows the government to then provide a detailed risk assessment and provide the facilitation advantages to the individual who's applying.
Next, the traveler needs to establish her Renewable biometric reference, an exploratory, privacy-preserving way to use her facial biometric to link her to her travel documents, such as her declaration.
She's going to take a picture of herself, a selfie, and some specialized software will derive a cryptographic key from that photo.
Throughout the travel process, she uses her live biometric to regenerate a new cryptographic key, which is matched against the original key without ever needing to store her actual biometric. Once the traveler has arrived in Canada, she starts moving through the border clearance process. Continuous risk assessment informs the traveler of their next step.
The orchestrator architecture is designed for interaction and collaboration. So it allows multiple parties to collaborate at border control, and it provides a continuous output, a continuous indication of the status of travelers through that process.
The traveler walks through facial recognition corridors, which identify and direct her to the right border processing zone.
Face was chosen as the identity token because it is fast, accurate, and convenient.
The integrated Chain of Trust system also helps the Canada Border Services Agency identify persons of interest and allow for timely intervention. Roving Border Services officers monitor travelers' behavior as they walk through the airport. They may approach a traveler and use their wearable technology to view the traveler's current status. If warranted, they can change the status of that individual. This traveler has been flagged as higher risk by the officer. When she proceeds through the last facial recognition corridor, she will be identified and directed to secondary for further assessment.
Technically, the challenge was to bring all the pieces together, the technical pieces together to make that happen. That include mobile devices, wearable devices, risk assessment engines, risk orchestrators, and face recognition flow control.
The Chain of Trust system would also be available for international visitors to Canada. This traveler is a foreign national who is required to complete an Electronic Travel Authorization application, or ETA, in advance, which is done through the mobile app.
Under Chain of Trust, we use simulated data to work with CBSA to explore ways that we can strengthen ETA
in which we can build a system that can quickly identify and adapt to changing risk patterns, and that information can be used in a way that preserves the privacy of the traveler while also facilitating travel for the millions of low-risk visitors to Canada.
Before our international traveler has even arrived, a Border Services officer has received a push notification indicating that this is a person who will need further assistance. The officer locates the traveler and engages in further discussion. Once the issue is addressed, he can change the traveler's status. Another interesting aspect of the Chain of Trust system is that Canadians will be able to renew their passport through the app.
We have the ability to alert the traveler where a passport may be coming near its expiry date. We can offer the traveler the opportunity to do an online passport renewal application using the smartphone as the key platform to begin that process.
The Chain of Trust project was made possible by the Canadian Safety and Security Program, which aims to develop innovative solutions to Canada's public safety and security challenges. The Canadian Safety and Security Program is led by Defence Research and Development Canada's Centre for Security Science in partnership with Public Safety Canada.
We built this project over a period of 10 months. It was a human-centric approach where we brought in actual Border Service officers and travelers to get their feedback on real-world situations. In fact, we demonstrated this process to over 400 people across the Government of Canada, including the Government of Canada's CIOs and the Clerk of the Privy Council.
As the volumes of travelers, goods, advancing technologies, and sophisticated threats to national security continue to increase, work is underway to move the Chain of Trust simulated prototype into a real-world operational pilot, enhancing continuous risk assessment and compliance. A safer, more seamless air traveler experience begins with the Chain of Trust.